Joining me today is our very own Professor Fitz. Not an actual professor, maybe a professor.
Not an actual professor, but
Professor Fitz.
But
I understand that you know a thing or two about stuff, especially pertaining to the B-17, this insane kit we have before us.
I do know a few things about it.
Cool.
So, the B-17 was basically developed because the United States needed they saw the importance of heavy bombing during World War II. And they needed a plane that not only could deliver the payload of bombs, but could also properly defend itself against enemy aircraft, which is one of the reasons why the B-17 has like 175 machine guns on it, right? Not actually. It only had up to 13. Only 13 machine guns. But so the plane itself was basically one of the reasons that the Allies won the war. I mean, it was so well designed that it was able to stand up to really harsh beatings from several. I mean, there were several instances where they would only have 2 of their 4 engines left, and they'd be able to get back. The plane would be ripped to shreds, but most of the crew would survive. So, yeah.
Right. Notable missions, notable events.
Like almost everything and anything. I mean, they used it in every theater. I mean, it was.
It's the B-17.
Pacific, North Africa, Italy, Western Europe. I mean, this was used. It was produced in such large numbers that. I mean, it didn't matter how many they shot down. We just kept cranking them out.
Right.
Then, of course, later we had the B-24 and then the B-29. But this is kind of the iconic World War II bomber.
It paved the way for, I mean, up to modern times, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could, your standard, the standard bomb load for the B-17 was roughly 6,000 pounds. It could be loaded with up to around 12,000 pounds of bombs, which is a lot. And like I said, when it was armed with up to 13 machine guns, and so it made it really difficult to approach from any angle. The machine guns were almost as effective as the enemy, or the escorts that it had with it. I mean, they were, because a lot of times when they went on missions, when you're flying one of these, they basically had to stay on course no matter what. So they just go full throttle right into enemy fighters, and it just became a melee. And yeah, I mean, that's right.
And I was reading the gunners had a very limited supply of ammo at times.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you can only carry so many bullets, right? You're carrying all these bombs, and you have gear and everything else.
And fuel,
on there.
right?
And fuel, yes.
Anything else you want to talk about before we hand over the mic to Cody?
It should be noted that the bomber crews suffered the highest casualty rates during the war. Sometimes some missions, you're looking at upwards of 30 to 40% casualties. Wow. I mean, they were required to fly 25 missions during their tour of duty, and many of them continued on to continue flying because they had the experience and so on and so forth. Right. Yeah, so they, among all of the units, different, Army, Navy, whatever, this was probably the one of the, if not the most hazardous job.
Right, absolutely.
So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, obviously incredibly rich history with this model.
Yes, yes. It's, like I said, it's pretty much one of the reasons that the Allies won the war.
Cool. So. All right, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now it is time to talk to the designer of this kit here. So, all right, thanks for coming on, Fitz.
Thank you.
Cool. And now we fade to a different screen, or just Cody walks on screen? Do we just
fade to orange?
Fade to orange. What? Ah!
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Whoa! A wild Cody appears. Hey, Cody.
You can't catch me.
Okay, Cody is here now, right?
I think so.
To talk about his
here.
B-17. Ooh, mostly.
My B-17.
So you invented this airplane, correct?
Yeah.
No. So you built the. I'm sorry. So you have spent the past few months, weeks, bringing this amazing aircraft to life in Lego form.
Yeah, started it a while ago.
Yes, you did.
And then
my time quickly disappeared.
And then
While
you blanked out, and then this thing was in front of you.
Yeah, passed out, and there it was.
Awesome.
Just done.
I guess what do you want to go over first? You want to go over?
I don't
This is such an amazing jumbo model. This is one of our biggest models ever made.
I think in terms of like measurement-wise, it's wider than the PT boat is long. So I think it's the widest, longest kit, if you think about it like that.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly has had one of the biggest impacts in our production cycle. Like, this thing has been an unbelievable challenge to source all the parts. Like, we're drawing from every corner of the world to get pieces for this thing.
Yeah.
So it has been quite an undertaking.
It's massive. Everyone's pitched in and helping produce this.
Right. So it's cool.
We're currently counting out parts for it. So
It's a team effort.
team effort all around the board.
Cool. So your part is obviously designing this kit. I guess where would you start with something like this? Where do you begin?
Well, I guess I'll start with saying that the wings are canted.
Yeah, check that out. That's one of my
slight degree.
favorite features.
It's like angular
It's not just built straight across.
angle.
There's actually an internal skeleton in there that's canting it upwards a little bit.
So just note that when you're building it, like, why are my wings doing that?
Because they do that in real life.
Because that's what it
Right.
was designed to do.
If you if you were to build it just straight across, they'd be all just hanging down.
Yeah, they would be drooping down, but
Cool.
in real life, it's pretty drastic.
Right.
I think it's about 4 bricks if you're going by Lego scale.
Right.
From here to there should be about almost 4 bricks, I think, from the
Yeah.
bottom to top. Anyways,
Anyway,
of course they do droop a little bit. They are very heavy. This is like, I don't even know how much this weighs. It's probably over 10 pounds.
yeah.
It's heavy. It's hard to pick up. It's going to be hard to play with,
Right.
unless you're strong.
So you start off by, I was watching you build this thing. So you start off with printing out blueprints for this thing.
Yep, print out blueprints, get everything to scale, and then the build process, I typically start with the nose and work my way back,
Right.
because I think the nose is the most prominent feature of any airplane.
Sure.
But this time I started with the wings, because I really wanted to devote most of my time to getting the wings canted up and getting them strong, because the bomb bay is in the dead center of the wing structure.
Right.
So I had to figure out a way to make strong wings that attach to the fuselage.
And I think you did it. It's
It took a
strong,
while.
it looks good, and it's playable, which is like unbelievable.
Yeah. Thanks.
So-
I mean, it's really hard to build a structure that's a hollow tube that you can still pick up and play with.
Right. So yeah, the wings, you have 4 engines on that, and there's landing gears
There is landing gears.
built into those wings.
Yeah, there's landing gears. Okay, so
What else?
before I start picking it up, moving
Sure.
it around, I'm just going to discuss what I can while it's sitting here nice.
Sure.
So there are 11. Or is there 10? 1, 2.
10?
There's 10.
10.
So there's 10 brick arms, 50 caliber machine guns on here.
Right.
They could have up to 13. The places I removed them from were the radio guy.
He could have one as well.
You could have one right here, and then 2 in the cheek, 1 on either side of the cheek guns. But they didn't all have them, so that's kind of where I.
So it's something you could modify on your own version.
You could easily modify it, but it gets really cramped if you're putting, because brick arms 50 caliber machine guns, the receivers are so large and they have to go in so deep into the airplane.
Right.
So I wanted space for people everywhere, all
Right.
the crew to be sitting. So I figured I'd rather remove the machine guns and put a guy there,
Yeah. Cool.
because you know how fat minifigures are.
Right, minifigures.
That's mean.
Minifigures are, what's the way of saying this? Interestingly proportioned.
Yeah.
That makes it very challenging to build with, but obviously you're able to fit an entire crew in this thing, right?
Yeah, you can fit all 10, crew of 10 in there.
So yeah, this kit comes with all 10 guys, right?
Yep.
And you can fit them all inside, which is cool.
So, yeah, we've got, man, where do I start? I guess
It's all good, we'll just chip away at it.
we have moving flaps on the wings and moving ailerons.
We can turn this around later and maybe get some additional shots for this.
Movable rudder, and these Stabilizers?
Oh, I don't know.
Anyways, someone knows.
The elevators.
They're the elevators. They are the elevators.
Nice. Camera guy on
Camera
top of
guy
things.
on point. Okay. What do I do? Best place to pick it up,
Yes.
here.
Right in
That's where I
the
designed to pick it
center.
up with one hand.
And you can actually see, set that down again, you can actually see the wings take on the weight when you lift that up. That's super cool.
A little bit. And it can also do a barrel roll. So it's a two-toned color scheme.
Whoa.
So yeah, I think you can really see the wings dip when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, two-tone color scheme. Under here we have the Bombay. Let me see if I can even hold this properly without breaking anything.
Oh, nice, nice.
Something is loose on the inside.
I threw a minifigure inside, maybe.
All right. This is difficult.
So we know when you need to tap out, and I can like take over.
Ball turret on the bottom moves.
Yes.
It pivots. You can make it articulate in any fashion you want. Does not fit a minifigure. That ball turret, even at human scale, you are so cramped in that thing. It's
You have to be
ridiculous.
a tiny guy in real life to fit in that thing.
So I figured I'd make it at least look like a ball turret as much as I could.
Right.
And then the ball turret gunner would sit next to the radio guy in transit.
Do you want me to hold this as you go over features?
I don't think so. I think it might be easier just for me to hold on
Sure.
to it.
No worries.
So I guess I'll try to show. Oh,
Here we go.
We'll
Let's
with
check out the Bombays.
So you got two Bombay doors, and you have four large bombs in
Those
there.
would be like 500-pound bombs, or what would those be?
Probably 1,000-pound
Oh,
bombs.
1,000.
Might as well. We'll just call it 1,000-pound
Yeah,
bombs.
definitely
I don't
1,000-pound bombs.
know. Four of them in there.
4 of them in the Bombays, and they do drop out.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to. Oop, there goes
Oh.
that 50 cal.
You hit the 50 cal.
I bumped it with my finger.
Battle damage.
So, all right. Collapsing the landing gear would require you to unclip. So I want it to be able to function, but it also has to support the weight of this 10-pound kit,
10-pound, yeah.
or however heavy
Yes.
it is. So I designed it to just unclip. So you unclip that, the wheel tucks in. I just keep crushing it with my hand, and then that closes over it.
Right on.
That's how it is in real life. It doesn't quite exactly go in
Sure.
all the way. About half the wheel sticks out. And these Lego wheels are so huge. But
You managed to
anytime you
make
get
it
a
work.
Lego wheel, you want the diameter to increase. The width also increases.
Right. So that's a constant challenge.
Yeah, that's a constant challenge with that. So it's easier to untuck and clip back into
There we
place.
go.
That's easy. That's
Nice.
the easy part.
So that is sturdy. That is a nice little A-frame there. Holding that up. And there's also a rear landing gear on this one.
Rear landing gear, you spin that.
There's an actual gear on the side of the airplane.
So that's where the door is to the rear of the aircraft. I just figured I'd put a functional tail wheel in there, and the gear to twist it comes right out of the window of where that door would be.
That's cool.
Figured that'd be a logical location
Sure.
to place that. And it does pivot, so you can drag it around like that.
Awesome. I think that's probably the majority of the detail about it. I like the tiling going on towards the middle of it.
Yeah. Oh, also those printed exhaust.
Yes, we got 4 custom printed exhausts behind each of the engines there.
Also, that's part of the turbocharger.
The turbocharger.
I
Nice.
don't know what science makes that works, but it's part
It's
of
not science, it is magic.
part of the exhaust and the turbocharger.
Turbochargers
Somehow they
are
work
pure
together.
All right, cool. So obviously the underside is that light gray color, and the majority of the build is dark gray. We've had some questions like, hey, why didn't you build this in olive or
And to that, I just laugh.
well, right. So, but for those people that don't know this, the Lego part library, pieces don't come in every color.
Well, I mean, they do, but it's quantity is our
Right.
driving factors. We don't make these pieces.
Right.
We have to use what's available for us, and even just to make 100 of these is quite challenging. Even in the current color scheme, to acquire all those pieces.
Here's this bad boy.
All right.
There we go.
Destroyed that. So since this is off anyways,
So check this out. We can also remove that entire roof on there.
yeah, we have a lot of some printed features on the inside.
We might have to cut to an animation to show off some of these, but
Yeah, I'll show you what comes off of this anyways. So you can put a guy in here, his head sticks up out of that turret.
ooh, going handheld, camera guy on the move.
So you can pop this off
Nice.
and see the details in that cockpit. So it fits 2 pilots.
With the custom printed seats with the U.S. Air Corps on there.
And then I don't know if camera guy can get the front of that. Maybe I need to turn it around.
He's getting it.
But you got some custom printing controls. And
I try to base it off of the actual dash as closely as possible. Just little subtle details there. Lots of different instrumentation.
Yeah, so pretty detailed cockpit.
Moving back into the
radio room.
radio
Where the
room.
radio guy sits. So he has a radio, he has a desk, with a chair with a back on it, and if you fold that forward, you can see the transmitter.
Yep.
And then on this side, you have the tuning units, which is just a stack of. They all kind of look the same.
Yeah. Some of them do have similar parts to them, but so we got 3 custom printed elements in the radio room.
So you can fit radio guy right here, and then the ball gunner,
Right.
belly gunner would be sitting on the side here. Pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer would go here. He would man the turret on top, and then you can pop the front off.
So we have some more custom printing on the front. That is the Norton bomb sight. That was actually manufactured in this very building, right?
I don't know.
That's
I
what-
think you were mentioning that. I'm not sure
Dan,
if
that's
right.
The Norton bomb sight was manufactured in this very building, right? So that's yeah. So that's a interesting fact that the Norton bomb sight was manufactured in Brickmania's headquarters back in the day, right?
That's really cool.
That's
a reason to buy a second
under
B-17.
total secrecy. Right.
So Bombardier sits there in the very nose, and then right behind him would be the navigator. He has a little desk there with a map on it, on that printed tile, and we put a compass there,
Right.
on that table also.
Yes.
So we space to fit those 2 there, that guy there, those 2 here, and then all the way back here we have
Almost the entire top of this airplane.
and this was difficult to.
Well, yeah. How do you do this without compromising structural integrity?
Right.
Is kind of the question.
So this is a structural piece, only held on by a few studs, but it makes all the difference.
Sure.
So back here, you probably can't see, but there's 2 50 caliber ammo cans
Yep.
for the waist gunners, and then you can place your minifigs in there as best you can.
As best you can.
for the
It is a tight space.
for the waist gunners. And yeah, I'm trying to make it as tall as I could. I have all the doors. I have a catwalk between the bombs. If you want to drop your bombs out and trying to get them back in, you can take these slopes off. It's a little bit easier to access your bombs there. If you want to drop them. I don't know how you would. You'd need 5 hands if you're going to fly this around and drop the bombs. And
It's a team effort.
if you're going to play with it any. I guess I'll put this back on.
Yes.
I'll flip it around so you can see the tail gunner, his location.
Let me get all this back on. I'm gonna break it. Covering up that Norton bomb sight.
Super simple.
Super. I helped.
You did help.
And this top turret gunner. Right, there you go.
He just snips right on there.
Okay, while you are spinning that around, maybe I can talk about the figures.
Yeah, go for it.
So we got 10 custom printed figures, front and back, and we opted just for a big crew, similarly printed. Or they're all the same printing on these guys, and they're I guess their their position is denoted by their headgear. So you have the officers and navigators and pilots are wearing that Lego police cap kind of thing.
Yeah, I think typically you would have the bombardier, pilot, co-pilot, navigator, and radio operator would generally be a little bit higher rank.
Sure.
They'd generally be an officer of some sort.
Right.
So that's kind of why we give them the pilot cap.
Yeah. And they are wearing a high altitude, cold weather, just all leather insulated flight suit with a life jacket underneath their parachute harness. So they are decked out. There's lots of super cool pictures out there showing a crews standing in front of their B-17s.
Yeah.
Just all this gear. It's cool. Yeah, those are the figures.
Yeah.
Right on.
You get a bunch of them. All right. Moving on to the tail gunner back
Here is the tail gunner in the back.
So you can move that rudder out of the way. And you can slide. Twist this open.
Oh, there's a piece that got hung up on the side.
Oh. It needs to come off anyways.
Does it?
In order to get the figure in and out, so you build them into the instructions.
Okay, yeah.
But you can turn that off to the side, take a panel off, and you can get the figure in and out.
Okay.
And then the guns articulate back and forth, up and down, side to side. So those are, these are all air-cooled barrels, all air-cooled 50 caliber barrels.
Right. Custom made by our friend Will at Brick Arms.
I can't see what I'm doing. I'm doing this blind.
Blind building.
I'm doing, yeah, I can't see. Anyways.
Anyway, that folds back up.
Slides right over the top. Maybe easier to do it this way. Am I there, camera guy?
Oh, we got it. You can build blind build.
Paid this week.
Nice. That's cool.
I earned my paycheck. Okay. Sticker wise, it's pretty simple.
Yes.
That's the letter C on there on the side.
They had a few different
They did
ones,
have
obviously.
a few different letters. But I figured I'd pick the C because that's my initial for my first
Whoa.
name.
That's
But it is an
initial.
actual thing. That's actual artwork.
It is.
And then BKM 2183 kit number. Very large stars and bars
I believe it's the largest of the stars and bars that we have done.
that we've ever done.
Yeah.
We also have the Sassy Siskin.
Oh, here we go.
Returning Sassy Siskin, and Brick Built Betty is also on that sticker
And
sheet. See if I get a good location for the
number of bombs dropped.
Yeah, we got 18 on there just because it's 2018. I
Nice.
think that'd be a good standard number.
No, it's cool. It's cool. 18 missions.
Yeah,
This thing is a monster,
there's a monster.
and I believe most of the people that will have purchased this kit pre-ordered it. So thank you very much for pre-ordering all these awesome kits. We kind of trying something new out, and I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, so that that was the difference in how many we were going to make.
Right.
Because we didn't want anyone to be sitting with their hands empty, like, "Oh, I didn't get one."
Right.
So decided to pre-order, and then now we're able to fill all of the quotas, and you get your kits.
Nice.
A few people bought a few.
You know, if you did not reserve a copy for yourself or pre-order a copy, I believe we still do have a few left.
I don't know when this video is going to come out, but
Right. We should have a few left.
pre-order ends on the 13th.
Yep.
So if you did pre-order, you get a signed certificate and signed box. I believe Dan's already addressed this
Nice.
in prior videos. So that's the only way you get a signed box and a signed certificate. Otherwise, you just get the kit. So-
Right. Just the kit. No. I mean, you get the kit as well. But
Yeah,
super
just
cool.
the kit.
Just a kit. Wow. I don't even know where to go from here.
I think that's everything.
one of the most insane kits that Brickmania has ever produced. We're all super excited for this thing to finally see the light of day, and we hope that you will be just as excited to get the kit if you decide to get the kit. Right?
Yeah.
All right. I think that's the episode, Cody.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to mention, or
I don't think
That's
so.
it?
I think we pretty much went over everything.
went over it all, man? Cool. All right. For more information, check out brickmania.com. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell. Every time the bell is clicked, Cody gets his wings. All right, thanks for watching.
Oh, I want wings.
I want wings.
Can we get Lego built wings? Oh, that'd be cool.
Right.
C-47 next year.